I'm back. Tonight I'm going to be making a Blackberry, god dang, Blackberry and peach galette. For those of you who don't know what a galette is, I call it a pie without a pie pan, because that's kind of what it is. Like, a lot of the time you can just use pie crust to do it. Today I'm actually going to be making a cornmeal, they call it a cornmeal pate brisée. 5 years of French obviously isn't helping out too much right now. But we'll get started. So, 2 cups of flour. I'm just going to start. I have my food processor out because that's how I make all pie crust. So, 2 cups of flour, a half a cup of cornmeal. And it sounds like this is gonna, I'm only gonna use half of this. So I'll actually probably freeze the other half. So I could just cut it all in half, but it'll be nice, it'll come in handy. It's always nice to have frozen pie. You can always freeze your pie dough. That's one really nice thing, homemade pie dough. It really does make life pretty easy when it comes down to it. Like, and then I just, like at the holidays, you just pull it out and you have good pie dough. But first off, I'm going to make this, and then I'm gonna put it in the freezer for probably about an hour. So, that's what's gonna happen in this episode. So I got 1 cup. Oh, I forgot. Damn it. Okay, so, noted. Food processor. There's a hole smack dab in the middle, right there. I don't know if you can see that. And I just poured a bunch of flour onto a burner on my stovetop. I don't know what to do with this right now. The struggle is real. It's almost a long weekend. I'm just gonna. I really don't want the flour, because I would rather have the flour elsewhere than down on my burner. Because that's just gonna burn. It's gonna light on fire essentially. Ugh, I didn't even think about that. Okay, anyway, back to the measurements. 2 cups of flour. And then a half a cup of cornmeal. Right, 2 cups? Yep, half a cup. Okay. Okay, so I have to tell you, I'm sure I'll have this in another recipe soon. Oh, I have lots of ideas though for my future recipes. My boyfriend said that I should do a tailgate themed episode sometime. And first off, I love football. And then I also love tailgating, so I love tailgating food, and I've eaten my, fair share in my life. So I'm really excited to figure out what to make for that. I already have kind of a list of what I think I like, but, okay. So, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon sugar. 1 teaspoon. I'll leave the sugar out because I'm gonna need that for the filling. Oh, there's where that went. Sugar. Probably good. That doesn't go in there. Somebody else must have put it in there. And 2 sticks of butter, unsalted, which unfortunately I don't have any unsalted, so No big deal. I'm actually going to put this onto the food processor, which I will get you a better angle in just a hot minute. And I'm going to pulse it a couple times just to kind of mix it all up. Well, I'll change my angle real quick. Oh, as long as my phone doesn't fall off my stand. Oh no, it doesn't really want to stay on the stand right now. The struggle's real, guys. Oh, there we go. You know me. Oop. I'm just gonna hold it for a hot second while I do this. Now you guys will get a little bit of a different angle. Sorry for all the sunlight. No, I'm not sorry, but okay. I'm just gonna pulse it. Kind of get it mixed up, okay? And then I'm going to go to the cutting of the butter. I have the butter in the fridge. Yeah, now you get a real look at what my fridge looks like. Look at, there's the other half of the pork loin that I'm gonna make, but I'm gonna do it stuffed. There's my cauliflower gnocchi I had for dinner tonight, and it was delicious. It's from Trader Joe's. Highly recommend, though it's not all just cauliflower. That's what I thought. And then there's my blackberries that I picked at my parents', and the peaches from my imperfect produce box, which is one of my favorite things ever. But, okay, butter is right there. I'm going to cut that into squares, and then I'm going to pulse it in the food processor. I don't know what happened, but my little stand got a little wonky. That's okay. Shit happens sometimes. There we go. Now it looks maybe it's okay. Sorry, guys. It's just that if you hit some buttons on your iPhone while you're doing this, it can cause some problems, I guess, with the recording. Woo! There we go. I'm gonna dice this butter. So, like, the most important thing when you're making a pie crust of any sort, or for the galette, is that you don't want your butter to melt, because that's what, like, makes the pie crust so delicious and good. And flaky and all that kind of stuff. So that's why it's super important for you to, this thing always makes a mess, to try to use as cold a butter as possible. But it also, admittedly, is really hard to use super cold butter when it's warm and when you're, like, touching it with your hands. Just the trials and tribulations of making baked goods, you know, first world problems. So I just try to do this as quickly as possible, not touch it too much. And I dice it into squares like this. So there's one. Maybe I should have used a bigger knife. Oh, there we go. Oh, that wasn't easy. Okay. Now I'm going to try to get these a little closer together so I can cut them all at the same time. One worry you do have then when using a food processing, when you're making this, is that obviously it gets warm pretty quickly. And so your butter does. And so you gotta kind of move quick. Not that quick. It's fine. Trust me. You guys, if I can do it, anyone can do it, okay? Everyone knows that I'm not, like, the best at this kind of stuff. I kind of just, you know, go with the flow. But Okay, butter is in. Lid is on. And it pulls until it looks like a coarse meal. Oops, I should put that top on. I'm gonna say we're good. I don't know where the butter went. I don't know if that actually all mixed in. Did it? It must have. This is an adventure. And then I'm going to add the ice water. So this is super important because, again, you don't want it to get too warm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, so your food processor always like comes with this little thing like this. I'm gonna put an ice cube in there and I'm gonna fill it with the required amount of water, which is, I think it's half a cup. But I am not totally, it's a fourth to a half cup. You just want it to kind of resemble a dough ball as you pour it in. Oh, gotta get water in there. I'm going to slowly add the ice water as the machine runs. So, oh, this always makes me nervous. Oh, why isn't it working? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, also nice thing about a food processor is that you've got to have it completely shut or it's not gonna work. So that looks pretty good. See, it's not that hard. Everyone thinks making pie crust is like impossible, but really, look at, maybe added a little too much water, but it'll work out. So then I take this out, take that out, and I move it onto a floured surface. So for me, actually it's not gonna hurt that I'm putting some of this flour back in because it is a little sticky. I might have added a smidge too much butter. I mean, too much water. I added about a half a cup, I'd say. And then I'm going to put it on a floured surface and take half of it and put it in saran wrap and put it in the freezer. And my floured surface, I'm going to use wax paper. Oh, I'm not making a mess at all, am I? You can't see me right now, but I'm just getting, I'll make sure you can actually see though. My little floured surface area. There we go. I just didn't really want to get flour everywhere, so that's why I put the wax paper down. But knowing me, that's probably not going to prevent it. I'm probably still going, oh yeah, a little too much water. I maybe got a little overzealous. That's okay. It's gonna still work just fine, especially once I kind of, I'll work a little extra flour into it right here. But I'm gonna cut it in half. And I'm gonna put both of them. I'm going to put one in the freezer, one in the fridge for an hour. And then while that cools, actually I'm going to put both of them in the freezer just because it's a little warm. And so then we can work with it maybe a little quicker. Here's the saran wrap, ball number 1. See, just like that. So I just recently purchased Costco's saran wrap. I kind of don't know how I've ever lived my life without it. It's the best stuff ever. Okay, both of those are going in the freezer. One I will end up just leaving in the freezer. The other one I'll grab out in a bit to make the galette. Clean up this little bit of mess. Woo, look at the mess I made. Okay, this, I'm gonna unplug this, and it's got so much flour on it. My computer has a little flour now too. Oops. I'm gonna dump the flour into the garbage just right now. Yuck. Okie dokie. Well, I have a slight problem where I can't put my food processor away yet because it goes up really high because I just don't have the space in my kitchen. So I'm gonna put it down here where now. Okay, now let's get on to the filling. Filling. 6 to 7. Pretty clean surface, right guys? 6 to 7 fresh peaches. I didn't have that many, so I'm using 4, and it says 2 cups of blackberries, which I definitely have. I think the 2 cups of blackberries, but I'm not too worried about the amount of much better. The filling, I think it'll all turn out fine. I'll give you a little bit. No, I'll leave the camera down so you can, I'll do the filling just right here. Bowl for the fruit. And here are my peaches. So here I'll give a little plug to Imperfect Produce. Absolutely love it. They're wonderful. But that's where I get most of my, I wouldn't say most, I like kind of go through phases. But, oh, these aren't super duper ripe, but that's fine. We're gonna just cut these up. I don't want to cut them too small, but I don't think it's gonna hurt per se. Okay. So I'm just gonna start cutting and tossing into the bowl. Oh, that is not what to come out. I'm going to do a half a cup of sugar. So there's really not actually that much sugar in this, which, you know, that's what everybody thinks, like in pies. there's a ton. But with the fresh fruit, those should have plenty of sugar in them, that it shouldn't probably be too big a deal. Ugh, there. Dear goodness. I love how I'll be like, oh dear goodness. That's just the whole, that's my mother coming through right there. I say, oh my God, but I'll be like, shit. All the time. Okie dokie. This is way too difficult, dear. But maybe now that I've got a little bit more of a, ooh, that sounded terrible, huh? I've been saying for weeks that I'm gonna make like this recipe, so I'm actually, oh, sorry, my phone started ringing and, okay, I'm sorry, my phone was ringing, I had to answer it. There we go. There we go. This is the wonkiest thing. Okay, last peach. That's a close one. And then I can throw in the blackberries. I don't need like the most massive galette ever today. This is gonna be good enough size that I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Ugh. There we go. See guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just do things the best that you can. It'll all taste good in the end, is my belief. I'm not too picky though when it comes to things. Maybe I'm not the best judge. 2 cups of fresh blackberries. Admittedly, these are frozen, but look how juicy that is. Half a cup of, oh, that's the flour. Got the sugar over here. Make sure you can see all this. Half a cup. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and juice of half a lemon. So lucky for me, I had lemon. I used that lemon last night in the pork loin. So I'm just going to squeeze this lemon, the other half. Oh, there went a seed. That's my only concern. I was like, fuck, there's totally gonna be a seed that's gonna end up falling. Oh man. Oh, it keeps slipping away. There, I got it. I should have done what I did last night where, you know, I squeezed it into a different container and then, so I could fish out the seeds. You know, it's Thursday. That's just all I'm gonna say. Okay, last seed. If I can just get this seed out. Oh, I don't think it was a seed. Oh well, it's fine. Pardon me while I use my hands real quick, but I'm gonna use it to break up these blackberries because they are still pretty frozen, but they thaw out pretty quickly. Look how juicy those are. Okay, I need the cornstarch. This recipe calls for cinnamon, which I wholeheartedly agree with because I think adding cinnamon and actually I'm gonna do cinnamon and a dash of nutmeg really brings out a lot of flavor in dishes. So That's not what I'm looking for. Cloves, cinnamon. Okay, I found my cinnamon. Now, where is my nutmeg? There we go. Okay. Oops. Okay, there's the cinnamon. And here's just a smidge. Ooh. There we go. Smidge of nutmeg. You can add nutmeg to almost anything, honestly. I swear. It really is good. Cornstarch. I keep forgetting that. Gotta get that. So that is next. Pinch of salt. Here is my cornstarch, and we are going to do 2 tablespoons. So, oh, it's like leaking out of the bottom of the. So really, the cornstarch is there to thicken it. That's probably plenty, because especially with those blackberries being so juicy, it'll help kind of soak them up. I'm trying to also like clean up as I go, because I make a bit of a mess. So. And then the last thing it calls for is 1 large egg slightly beaten. And that is going on once I actually get the dough out, which I'm actually moving. No, it totally feels fine right now. I'm leaving it in the freezer. So I'm going to stir all this up, and then I'm going to, I want a bigger spoon. And then I'm just going to wait, because that dough still needs to get colder, and I have it in the freezer right now, and it's going to take probably another half an hour. So stirring this up, letting these blackberries thaw out just a smidge more. I mean, but look at how good that looks. This is going to be so tasty. And then I'll be able to assemble it all, which will take like no time at all. It's a lot easier than you think. And once I actually learned how to make this, well, technically this is my second galette in my life. I realized it's so much easier. The juice is delicious. Okay, I'll come back to you in a bit. See you guys. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna grab, yeah, let's use that one. Grab this. Okay, so one slight problem is I don't actually have I gotta preheat the oven too, 375. I don't have a rolling pin. So what I tend to use is I tend to use a wine bottle. Because, I always have one of those handy. Let me take my ponytail off. So, what I'm doing now is I'm going to just press this out a bit. It's pretty cold, which is great. And then I'll roll it a bit with the wine bottle so that we can get it a little bit thinner, because we have quite a bit of filling. So I don't know how the recipe called for like 6 to 7 peaches, and I used 4, and they were pretty small peaches. Like, I don't know how it was gonna do that. Whatever, I'm not gonna worry about it. See, I have a nice cab sauv here. Looks like it's nice and even. It'll roll it out pretty nice. And you'll see that I'm using, it called for parchment, but I love these things I got from Amazon a while back. I use them, I use them when I bake whenever I bake cookies. But they're like non-stick. My sister-in-law had some and I became obsessed. Like they make cleanup and everything so easy. So, okay, so we're just like you would do a regular pie dough. Obviously, oh, duh. To make it easier. And I can put it on the cookie sheet later. Because you do want to get it pretty thin. Boop, boop, boop. So I'm always in charge of making the pies for my family holidays, so this is good practice. I don't tend to make pies other time of year. And now that my dad gave me a bunch of frozen apples and I have a bunch of frozen blackberries, so I'll probably end up using those for the holiday pies. I don't know what I'll make, but you know, something. Okay, so I think that's good enough. Okay. We'll just spread a little more. And obviously, if you want, you can make it like a perfect circle, so it's gonna look like real pretty, you know, when you fold over your edges. But I'm just gonna kind of do generally something that's semi-round like this, okay? So, oh, there we go. So, putting it back onto this, and then I'm going to essentially just pour all this. I'm gonna try to not get all the juice that I actually have on mine because there's so much. I'm a little bit nervous that it'll be too much and it'll soak through. So I'm gonna, that's okay. You know what? It's gonna be just fine. I'm gonna try to get as much as the actual filling first. I'm gonna use a different spoon actually to kind of strain it so that we get, oopsie, mostly filling. That some of this extra juice stays. Obviously then this is going to bake down a lot, this fruit is. So it will not be a big deal. Oh, and there it goes. So now I'm going to start folding up. Oh, shit. Come on, just work with me here. I just don't want it to burn, you know? Yeah, that's fine. I'll clean it up. But then I also don't want it to, there. Kind of exactly what I want to do. So you see how I'm just folding it up? Obviously I have a ton of juice on my hands right now. And you just kind of, you know, fold it, seal it just a little bit. You don't have to do it perfect. That's like not the point of this. See, it broke a little bit, so I'm trying to get this all lifted so that we can. Yeah, and I don't know why I keep making that noise today. That's weird. It's definitely not, it's not like it's a new noise. I totally haven't done it before. There we go. Okay. I'm going to clean up a little bit of this juice. The last thing to do is to get a egg white, or egg, and do it around the edge so that you get kind of that pretty glossy look. That's totally up to you. And a lot of the time you can sprinkle it with sugar too. You know what? We'll do it. We'll do it. Might as well, right? I'm just trying to get as much that juice off. The only other thing I'm slightly worried about with this is that it's going to break out through the bottom. If it does, it does. Who cares? You can't really do anything about it once it's in the oven. I'm not going to add the extra juice to it. Okay, here's my egg. Whip it up real quick. And then it said sanding sugar, which I definitely don't have. But again, it's not a big deal. I'm going to just like kind of lightly put this around the edge. Oop, that was a lot more than a lightly. Well, it'll be fine. It's not like this is going on the cover of Food Magazine or something. Gonna eat it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Dump the rest of that egg out. And then, oh, and the oven's preheated. Perfect timing. I will do that little bit of a sprinkle. Of that sugar. And now we're done. And now I'm gonna put it in the oven. I gotta see for how long. Let's double check that, okay? Before we put it in. Give you a little better view then of the kitchen. See, I guess I do follow directions. Oh, bake for an hour until bubbling, brown, and juicy. Let's be honest. It's already pretty juicy. So, oh well, we'll see. But you know what? Really quick, I'm going to give you a better view of it because I think it looks so pretty right now. Look how pretty that is. So yeah, okay, so I'll see you in an hour or a little less when this is all done. Thanks for watching. Okay, taking it out of the oven. As you can see, oops-a-daisy. Some of it spilled. Totally fine. That's to be expected. Oh God, that's gonna burn on there. That's what I was smelling. I was like, oh, something kind of smells like it's burning. Thinking it might be the galette. I'm gonna quickly check. See, that side looks great. You know what? I am gonna actually, should I flip it around for a hot second? My oven is pretty good, but yeah, no, I think it's done. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's pretty golden on top. I think it looks nice. Oh, sorry for this super terrible angle. And I'm gonna transfer it in onto a white serving dish, and then so I can also get started on cleaning this all off because it's going to be sticky. But I'll take a picture and I'll post it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been, and just so you know, it was about 45 minutes at 375. Probably could go in a little bit longer, but I think it looks pretty darn good. So I hope you make it, enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow with the stuffed pork loin.